Oh, hey everybody. Joseph here, and it's time for another vlog. What am I doing in this vlog? Well, I've decided that to help make these vlogs even more, or to help make them come out even more often, I'm going to look at TV shows. These aren't going to be in-depth reviews like I try to make my cinnamon reviews. They're just going to kind of be me talking about, certain shows, about whether I think you should watch them, what's good, what's bad, whether they're worth your time or not. Because I do watch a lot of television. I'll be the first to admit that. However, for shows that I really like Game of Thrones, The Legend of Korra, and the show that is today's episode is from, I will go episode by episode, hopefully to get you guys to enjoy it. What episode am I talking about? Well, this Saturday, the new episode of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic came out, and so I'm going to be reviewing Keep Calm and Flutter On. Okay, so the general consensus I seem to have gained while researching and looking up other bronies, interests in this episode, it's very mixed, I'll say that. And I can totally see why. This is the one episode that you should never do. This is the reforming the villain episode. And these rarely work out for the best. Because usually once you reform a villain, once you turn a bad guy into a good guy, they stop becoming interesting. Once you switch from evil, the evil is usually what makes them engaging or interesting. But I will say this, and this is very important. I think this idea can work for Discord. I think this kind of scenario can work for him because Discord is not an evil character. He isn't. He just isn't. So what kind of a character is he? Well, I'm going to bring out the character alignment chart. This is the D&D character alignment. Lawful good, good, chaotic good, all that good stuff. Where does Discord fit on this chart? You would think that he would fit somewhere in the evil range. No. Actually, he does not. He doesn't do things because he's evil. He doesn't do things because it's good. He does chaotic things because he can. So this makes him chaotic neutral. He is not an evil character, and so if you reform him, this is where he starts off, chaotic neutral, right here. This is where he ends the episode, chaotic good. The main aspect of his character, the chaos, is intact, and so I think it's still a little too early to say so, but I do actually think that his character will be maintained, and it will still be interesting. And I do think that he's going to appear a lot more, probably be a background character. And, I would actually probably bet money on that. What's really good, what works in this episode, it is comedic. John Delancey comes back as Discord, and it's like he never left. Everything is humorous, everything is funny, he plays off all the characters well, especially Fluttershy, because this is a Fluttershy episode, and, she hasn't had that many. But they all work off each other very well, and it's appreciated. I do think that there is a weak part of this episode, though, and that is, it's too short. And that's not to say that, extending it to a two-parter would have worked, but it goes by too quickly. The conflict is resolved really quickly, and I don't think Discord spends enough time, getting together with some of the other characters to see how they all mesh. It seems to really be more focused on Discord Fluttershy, and now that works, and it works really well, I just wish he could have expanded on it, or if it had gone maybe a little slower. But because it goes so fast, it also keeps its energy up. It's very energetic, and that is appreciated. Also, I kind of wish, and this is just kind of a nitpick on my part. I do kind of wish that they went more into Discord's backstory. They never really touch on that, and that's depressing. But, you know, for what this episode is, and it's a very, very hard episode to do. The reforming villain episode is by far the most difficult for any show to do, and it rarely ever works out well. But for what it is, I think it handled itself very well, and I think it might be a little too early for us to judge whether Discord's character has been, quote, ruined. You know, if he shows up more, and I think he will, then we can maybe, you know, get something more definitive. But right now, I think it is worth seeing. You know, we all wanted to see Discord back, and it hasn't disappointed. So check it out, and I'll be here next week to look at... which one? Oh, right. The Spike and Pet-oriented one. I don't know how to feel about this one. But, you know, it hasn't been as hyped as this episode was. So, but I'll see you guys then. This has been Joe, and I'm signing off.